This was the story of a young family who left a land far away. This was my father, right here, and my mother, young bride. We were all born in India, a land far away, but a land that once had to overcome a serious oppression, a serious systemic racism, a serious systemic injustice. My father is about 5'3" because he survived the Bengal famine of 1943. It was a famine that was man-made. It was a famine in which food was diverted from the people of India because the colonial powers ruled that it needed to be so. My parents came, my mother, a young bride, to this town called Piscataway, New Jersey. She babysat other people's children so that she could raise the dollars to bring my brother and me. And this was them as a young couple. I introduced them to you because in this theme, in this journey that we have, what is our topic today? It's a really simple one. It's a very simple theme. It starts with me. But who is me? Me, we all know in our beautiful state of West Virginia, me is our family. Me is the ancestry that we inherit. Me is our brothers and our sisters, our neighbors and our friends. Me is every single one of you. And that is the reality into which my brother and I arrived as little children here in the United States of America. This was a photo of my class, the class of 1975 in New Jersey at Martin Luther King Elementary School. I was a young girl who was infused with the idea that Martin Luther King brought to this nation. And who was he inspired by but the freedom fighter that my father had marched beside in India, this man named Mahatma Gandhi. We can never know what it is that our cause will be in this world. We can never know what our script will be. Mine, I learned, would be written into this little journal. When I arrived as a little girl in Morgantown, West Virginia, to go to Suncrest Middle School, a teacher named Mrs. Alke gave us these journals. And in this journal, I penned my little thoughts as a young girl. And in this journal, I wrote about how it was that I, as a young Muslim girl, wanted to have equal rights within my faith. How it is that I didn't want to be separate and unequal in the places of worship that we had. I could little have known that that would be part of my struggle. But I came out of these schools here in West Virginia, these beautiful public schools, with that journal as part of the power that West Virginia gave me to become a writer. I became a reporter for the Wall Street Journal, left West Virginia to go conquer all sorts of challenges, preparing me for this moment that I could little have ever expected. And that was the great tragedy of 9/11. That was the great tragedy in which so many thousands were murdered. One person very close to home was murdered in my own life. I had become a reporter for the Wall Street Journal, and my colleague was a man by the name of Daniel Pearl, a man whom militants decided they could murder because he was Jewish. In my Muslim family, that was not the interpretation of faith that my parents had taught. And I will read to you, I will bring to you Dr. Martin Luther King's words, because they are the ones that inspire every action that you will now hear. He said, darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that. I called home to Morgantown, to my parents, and I said, my friend, he has been kidnapped because he is Jewish. What should I do? And my mother, she told me, it is my farz, it is my duty as a Muslim to stand up for Danny. And that is what we did. We could not save his life. But in that moment, I learned that I had a baby inside of me, a baby that I would bring into this world as a single mother. I would bring myself back to West Virginia only because my father gave me this great gift that I want to read to you also from the words of Dr. Martin Luther King. I said to my father, I'm pregnant, and he wrote me only 3 words back, which were, I love you. Because this is what Dr. Martin Luther King also teaches us. I believe that unarmed truth and unconditional love will have the final word in reality. Unconditional love will have the final word in reality. This is why right, temporarily defeated, is stronger than evil triumphant. And what did that mean in my life as a West Virginian? It meant bringing a boy into this world in Morgantown, West Virginia, a new West Virginia citizen 20 years ago. And out into the world we emerged again. My father and my mother, they welcomed us. My father built a room for us with paint upon his fingernails when I arrived back from Pakistan, because it is unconditional love that brought my son into the world and then that set us out again. Growing up in West Virginia with my parents as immigrants who came for the American dream, I knew something really important, that we had to fight for education. Dr. Martin Luther King, what did he tell us? The function of education, therefore, is to teach one to think intensively and to think critically. That is the education system that we have embraced in the United States of America. It is what raised me into a writer. It is what we infuse in our children today. But all of you know that we have a gap. We have failed many children, including our children in West Virginia. And we have to find solutions for that, because it's with education that we get enlightenment. And what I have learned along this way is unfortunate truth that sometimes in the fight for social justice, we're not always going to be popular. We're not going to be understood. We're not going to have the millions behind us. But what I have had every step of my way are these 2 people. Because when we ask ourselves this question that is part of the theme, that it begins with us. Who is us? It is my grandmother, it is my grandfather, on both sides of my ancestry. It is the spirit of the women of my ancestry, and it is all of you. It is truly all of you. Whether we agree on every point or we disagree, Dr. Martin Luther King taught us very clearly that we cannot live with a hierarchy of human value. And we can never return to that place where there is a hierarchy of human value amongst us. We must see each other in our own image, in the image of those that we love, and it's only in that way that we will truly accomplish the great vision of Dr. Martin Luther King. It is the most humble of honors to be here. I thank the commission, I thank the governor, and I thank our legislators, and I thank you, the citizenry, because it's only because of your love, your amazing spirit of love. I have gone from West Virginia to the corners of Pakistan, across the border to interview the Taliban, and there is only one place that I return, and that is here, to the hills of our beloved mountains, where indeed mountaineers are always free, and I will always be 304, because West Virginia is in my heart and in all of your hearts, and I will be with you and stand with you every step of the way as each one of you accomplishes the change that you want to see in the world. Thank you, and thank you to my beloved parents. Thank you.